sprint right down the middle of the track. Charges to the lead and Captivant wins the victory. Vane from the long-priced Acca Hero.
First down the outside. Wild Moon clear though at the 75. The planets align for Wild Moon. The Garden City get out too good.
Grinding it down. Power Scheme takes all hardwood, then just like Mumskador, and it's Power Scheme. Power Scheme won.
The 100 Pretty Fry sticks on. It's Glamour Pack, Pretty Fry, Cornflower, but Glamour Pack too good. Packed too many punches for them in the last Glamour Pack.
G'day punters, welcome to the deep dive. There's plenty to get stuck into. There was a massive meeting obviously at Caulfield with the Caulfield Cup. We'll get stuck into the rides, how that race unfolded, who did their ass and so forth. But I guess we have to have a look at Caulfield from the point of view that 0% commission on every race on the card. It did something that probably no one really anticipated what was going to happen. Dicko, you're hypothesising there might be some different betting moves. The Everest matched just under 1.8 million. Race 2 on the card at Caulfield matched 1.6. And I guess unless you're Chris Roots, you probably had nothing but positive things to say about it.
Josh?
Who's Chris Roots?
Well, he writes for the Daily Telegraph in Sydney. So good morning to our PVL-sponsored media.
Is PVL,
hey, look,
so PVL runs the
PVL,
does he run the Age as well?
No, I think not PVL. Rupert owns the Herald Sun, the Telegraph, not the Age. I think the Age is like.
No, I know that.
But like PVL hasn't like said, hey Jack, could you please stop talking about an integrity issue to do with our products? And if you don't, we're going to have to terminate your contract. So, like, whilst he does lots of like silly shit, the Everest was an outstanding race on Saturday with $1.8 million turned over on it. It didn't exist 4 years ago. Yeah. The media in Sydney seems to just say whatever PVL wants, but like, there's no one else who's very different in my opinion.
All right. Well, I mean, just looking, you have to look at some of the numbers.
Sorry, Kels?
There's a bit of Donald Trump about that answer. You've taken all the way from who's Chris Roots to hang on a second while I've got you. I'm going to go whack.
Well, no, fuck him. Like,
while you were doing that, I was on Twitter just to work out who Chris Roots was.
He's a journalist in Sydney.
Yep.
I think it's like basically when we lost Kenny Callender because he was getting maybe we should see if he wants to come work for the mailbag. He was censored and he wouldn't cop it. It's basically Chris Roots and Ray Thomas, I believe. They're sort of right up there in Sydney.
Just getting paid to do the job.
And I think it's basically Damien Ratcliffe, who we had on the show, who does it in Melbourne. Yeah, they're just doing that job. Like,
well, I guess
back to the zero commission. What do we think of that? The power of Betfair to make this industry elite they're so important to the game. It was outstanding what they did. Like, we're allowed to whack them for the integrity issues while still praising them. Like, we're just going to keep telling it as we see it. I thought what they did on Saturday was outstanding. The markets, and it's been happening a bit down here in Melbourne, I reckon. And Josh, you probably go next year. I reckon the markets are sort of off. They missed a few more times than, say, 12 months ago. And that was even worse on Saturday. There was a lot of sort of horses that were soft that run huge races. The market sort of didn't know.
Last race is probably Madame Rouge. Like, is just a perfect example of that. Like, market was just friendless.
I want to talk about that race and the betting and how we'd handle that betting, and each of us answer it. It's like the price you've marked it, or like can't win marked it, or like how you've handled it. Because if you've just priced Madame Rouge, come jump time, she's a bet. You couldn't have priced her on Saturday morning any bigger than $11. I think she might have SP'd 13s. So we get to that in a bit. Curls, I thought maybe some of the extreme amount of turnover might be a lot of trading. Or do you think that a stack of money just came that wouldn't normally be there?
Well,
when I say trading to the guys at home, I mean like someone might, instead of having $50 the win and lay it back like at $2 and then lay it back at $1.85 to just to green up, they might be having 5,000, like just reading the market and trading the market to get that big amount of liquidity there. I don't know the answer.
There has to be a portion of that for sure. Has to be. Like, there's people that do that for a living every day of the week and would probably be, increasing their fixed odds bets on horses that they thought were over the odds to lay back for sure. That would have had to been going on. But you're right about some of the moves. There was some, I can't remember exactly what race, but I remember watching, just some of the money that was there for horses that were, in the market.
No, let's kick off. Let's kick off with the first mover, and God bless it. We're in front, big day. I don't know what I did in the Caulfield Cup, but I still almost got that right, but I didn't. We're back power scheme. It was friendless, and especially late. It pissed in. It didn't even put its head down the whole race and still pissed in. Well, the market was wrong big time there. I was nervous as hell. I backed it 9 a.m. and backed it from the yard. And then the last sort of 2 minutes, you were going, oh, God.
It wasn't exactly. I wouldn't say it was friendless.
It was 280 out to like 345 from memory.
Yeah, but that's also like 120% market going out to 100% really of the death. So it's probably just finding the right price.
It's interesting that you say this, Jack, because it could have been a factor of just 100%, because there was no commission on Betfair. People were really it was a good play of, like you said, there's traders on there knowing that you're going to get no commission against them. It could have been a good show of like real true odds. But just fascinating what happened with, like you said, the market wasn't a true indicator through the day of what was going to happen, which seems to happen a bit in Victoria. I don't know. I don't really have any numbers, but I seem to think that like in Victoria, things can drift and still win compared to places like Queensland, where there's softer markets though. It's more so like there's softer markets, maybe WA. I don't know if you agree, but WA as well. I don't know, like things are backed, like that KC that ran on Saturday was backed off the map. And was just like nowhere in it. Like I know that could have just been down to the right or just unlucky, but there's things that just seem to be different with the Victorian market. I don't know why, but that's just my interpretation of it. I haven't run any numbers on it, but it seems to be more that drifters can still win in Victoria. That's just how I say it.
One of the most fascinating things for me that I was thinking about last night, given how much money got turned over, okay, like if it's not just people arbing and trading and like backing and laying a stack, then this money's real. Where is it every other day of the week? Like people don't bet that amount of money just for fun. They're professionals. So does that mean that because of the way that the Australian industry taxes wagering, that all of this turnover is normally done overseas?
I think it's a very good question. I'm not sure anyone's going to offer an answer that has any sort of substance to it because it's impossible to know. But it's a great point.
Like, where's all this money? Where did all this money come from? Like, are they taxed overseas slightly? So then they're that smart that they knew, okay, well, today it's worthwhile putting our money back into the Australian market, and then next week they just take it back? Because there want to be some form of difference for them to bother changing the way they operate.
It'd be fascinating to see fixed odds operators, what their turnover was on the day compared to, say, Caulfield Cup Day last year. I know they keep that information to themselves, but it'd just be a fascinating sort of thing to look at. But there's going to be no bipartisanship between fixed odds operators and the exchanges in Australia, I know. But it'd just be interesting if they could, because that's what they really need to say, hey, let's get turnover happening. What happens when Betfair puts 0, up?
Well, I know that Racing Victoria did a deal where the rates were changed for Saturday to take on PVL, and surely they look at doing more of this. Like, it has dominated the weekend. It was outstanding, and it's all because Betfair encouraged wagering, and they were helped to encourage wagering by the Racing Victoria.
I think one of the key numbers I saw tweeted from Betfair was active customers up 40%.
Yeah.
Which sort of goes some way to maybe doesn't go some way to answering your question, but it does add a little bit of story behind it of where this turnover comes from. So there's customers that weren't using the exchange that have been enticed to come back to the exchange from wherever they were because of the zero commission. So
be interesting to run a poll with sort of your clients from, everyone that follows. Maybe throw it on Twitter after this and just say, hey, if you guys were a Betfair member, Betfair account holder, and obviously the corporates, what did you use on Saturday for, say, following, for the movers followers out there? Were they taking Betfair or were they taking the fixed odds still? Just interesting to see what it really did with the industry.
Oh, it was just the best thing ever. Like, remember when I sent a mover bet on Anthony Van Dyke after about race 6 because I thought you wanted to be on speed, and I was told that Hugh was going to handlebars down and go to the front. How wrong we all were. But like instantly, Josh messaged me and said maybe you should have said take Betfair SP because it's different. It was a different on Saturday, whereas normally
Betfair at the time was actually I think you sent it as what price did you send it? Like was it $7?
$7.50.
Yeah, so it was like there was a little bit of money there. It wasn't as good as like a really Group 1 market should be in a real world context, in a perfect world. But there was a little bit of money there that you could get down to like a few thousand before you got down to the 750, which was obviously before there was no comms, so you were taking better than fixed odds anyway. So fascinating for that sort of a thing.
Yeah, there was 240 thousand matched a couple of hours, or what was it, 3 races out from the race?
Yeah.
When you sent it,
yeah.
Anthony Van Dyke went from about $7.80, $8 a minute or 2 minutes before the jump. Top of my head, I haven't got the data. We don't care about that anymore. This is just I was betting. This is what I saw. I reckon it started $6.
Jumped 560.
Fucking went off late. Like there's so much wagering, so much betting.
Yeah,
it was great.
Yeah.
It was.
And there's some stats around. There's some syndicates and stuff back, just like first time international horses with an international trainer. Just flat out, you can. A few years ago, it used to be like 50% profit on turnover with their first start. So there's some edges like that, and they probably weren't wrong with saying that on Saturday.
Well, even Bathurst was also supported as well, a double-figure quote. I mean, look,
I backed that out of the yard, Peter.
Yeah.
Off the horses you saw on the TV, Lloyd just buys them, mate. It looked like rekindling. It looked like all their good horses. Just walk like him. Oh, I thought, shit, here we go. Melon's going to ride 16 winners today.
We'll dive.
How good? How's Gladrap going? Like 3 months ago, he was looking at 2-year ban. He's riding 3 winners Caulfield Cup day. Go, Melon. Good on you. Great riding on Saturday.
We'll jump into the Caulfield Cup in just a second, but just to finish off with a 0% commission, it was interesting that only Top Sport was promoting the fact that you could actually get on to win 5,000 on any race on Friday, 10,000 to win in the Caulfield Cup, and then 25 and 50,000 on the official price in betting. Clearly goes hand in hand. If you offer people the ability to win more cash or to bet to win more cash, it goes hand in hand with 0% commission. It seems pretty bloody straightforward, and it's amazing that it doesn't happen more often. But that shows who's running the game.
It's peak racing though. It's just like everyone fights against each other for this tiny. It's like on Friday night and Saturday night, I had to decide, make a conscious decision: am I going to watch AFL or NRL? Because they're competing sports. If I was staggered in time, I probably would have consumed both sports, watched both sets of ads, etc. Racing, though it's the same sport, behaves in the same way as like AFL and NRL in all aspects of it, and it's to its own detriment, and it always will be. And I can't see how it'll ever change.
Yeah. There's two distinct markets though in wagering, and Betfair and Top Sport are talking to one half of the market, and Sportsbet and the Tab talk to the other half. That's where it's at, I think.
Unless you're on a rebate at the Tab.
Top Sport have taken a great position. And obviously self-interest here. You can bet to win a good amount Top Sport, and you can use the fair to chop out free or in run or whenever you like. It's for those that wager full time, it's they're the two premium products.
There's the in run betting. Since we got in trouble, or not in trouble, whatever, warned for speaking about it, they have changed the in-play market again. I think I might ask him to explain it on our show on Thursday. Put Olive Branch out, because right now they're turning on the Victorian in-play markets about half a second or a second before it goes in play on a Foxtel TV in my office. When we got in trouble, it was going on about 3 or 4 or 5 seconds before. I think that given how much money's bet on it, it needs to be, this is what's going to happen. So you can prepare for it and make a betting plan for the day around it. Because I'll kind of pen it, and then all of a sudden I go, well, hang on, it's different again. Have you noticed that?
Probably 2 weeks ago I noticed it.
And they just sort of left it as that now, isn't it? That it's back to what it was.
Yeah, the off time was, pretty much coincided just before the gates pinged.
It's a pretty major thing. They need to say, this is what we're going to do from now on, or we're going to go back to it. If everyone's quiet about it again, we're going to go back to what it was. But if the mailbag talk about it, we'll keep it as it was. What the?
It's just astonishing that there's no provider that actually sends the actual ping. It's 2020 and there's no ping of when the actual off time. There's no technology to say this is the exact off time out there to an in-play trading exchange to avoid all this sort of confusion. Because there's one of the technology firms out there in betting. I don't want to sort of say their name. Obviously do the number of horses that have gone into the barriers. I don't know if they still do. They had a deal in Victoria, which is really good, and that should be done.
The monsters.
That should be
the big fucking
the big whales. Yeah, and then that should be done nationwide. So it's just an integrity thing as well, like you said, with betting in play. I think that service is tremendous. But it should just be done around Australia for at least metropolitan tracks, if not provincial level. Just avoids any sort of, confusion and everything with in play.
I'm not bagging in play. Anyone who backed in danger from the yard with me on Saturday, he hit $180 in run. $180 in run in danger.
All right, we'll start reviewing the Caulfield card because there's heaps to get into. We'll start with the Caulfield Cup, the main event, race 9, 2400. The tempo was even overall for the class, 1.7 lengths slow, but geez, there was some very slow sectionals recorded by Dashing Willoughby and the tripod walker out in front.
Maybe the tripod might have known his horse was not going very good though. It stopped pretty quick, that thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a really interesting race to review because a lot of those horses that were sitting on speed just lost all momentum coming around the turn. And although Anthony Van Dyke was heavily restrained back towards the position where it probably wasn't comfortable in run, it still maintained some level of momentum going 18 wide around the corner.
It literally swiped like Huey, like all of us, like Peter, you, Josh, even you and myself. We were all newish to Victoria. And when you get your head around the marquee card and all that, it's fucking confusing. You got to top the thing up all the time. You swiped it, didn't you, at Caulfield Station? Holy shit. The mail was this horse would go forward. If it did, it would have won, in my opinion. I completely grade myself up here. I tipped Very Elegant, and I backed Van Dyke, and I got it just wrong. I thought at the 400 we were going to win. But only because it was an international raider. No horse really should be able to sustain what it did and keep going. It's just circling them all. I think if you backed Prince of Arran for the Melbourne Cup, you're flying. Went enormous. Finch could be the run of the race. There's 3 wide cast and just keeps going. Brave horse. If you back the Villiers, you can be sick. The only thing that's worth, if you backed Raheen House at huge odds, you should tweet D Moore and thank him. Very, very smart ride. I don't know if you guys picked up on it, but he's drawn the car park, snicked, did the shandy job on it, punched it into the fence. He was 4 from the car park. It was pretty smart riding.
Josh, what are you taking out of the Caulfield Cup? Are you going to follow anything going forward?
I I backed Finch pre-race. I was on it and Master of Wine. Very poor, but set OSL probably pretty hard to win over 2400 Caulfield Cup with that, but still. But yeah, Finch again. I don't know if I don't really think I can back it again in the Melbourne Cup, but I think it's had the same run as it did last year in the Caulfield Cup. It's come 5th, set 3 wide, facing Brew. Yeah, just like an exact replica. Prince of Iran, unbelievable. I thought Prince of Iran was really good going into the race behind Enable on the all-weather track back over in England at Kempton, and it's gone super again. Real bad story for me is with the girlfriend and her family. We had a trifecta for fun. Put a pineapple in each, and I picked two. We all picked 2 horses, and on form, I said the chosen one, and I'd taken the chosen one. I had a peanut on the chosen one, sort of to win as well. I just thought it was a stupid price. And then I saw it in the finish. I honestly thought it was going to kick and it was going to be like boom time all over again or something. And then I looked at the trifecta and I'd forgot to put it in our trifecta. The only thing that is like the only value of all time. And I was just so disappointed after the race. After backing Classique Legend, I was just completely flat for the rest of the day now, and I just given up. And yeah, it was all over. But yeah, ones to follow. Obviously, Anthony Whitendike, sectionally sexual. Obviously, very elegant, very good as well. Interesting looking at the previous Caulfield Cups on punting form data. The mare's gone 3 lengths better than the last 2 years on average, probably. Best Solution 8.2 rating. Murder Glass negative 7.5, and Very Elegant today, on Saturday went 11.7. But there's some serious times before that that she didn't sort of weigh up to. But she's got more in the tank. That wasn't her peak figure that she did on the weekend.
Yeah,
she
I think
definitely did better in the cup.
Kind of forget about it. Like she was in the ruck there. She was there to be beaten for a long way too, and look, she's a beast. It just makes me fucking ill that we backed her at like $21 to win the Oaks.
It just shows you though, like what sort of that 1 length off a slow pace like does to a horse. Like it probably, honestly, I don't know. Like she really dug deep, but I just think that length further forward than Anthony Van Dyke in the run has basically won her the race there.
What about like I'll bring you in, Curls, the bunch finish theory of the lead up form, which was the whatever race, the Turnbull maybe?
Turnbull, yeah.
Well, it's proven the Caulfield Cup winner, so pick Gray there.
I think a bunch finish when they've all had their chance versus a bunch finish where something like, she did, like when it had I think if it's a bunch finish but the horse that had the hardest run still wins, I still think there's merit to it. I think there was a fair bit of narrative, wasn't there, like in the build-up to the Cup because of that sort of Turnbull form that you just pen the locals and the internationals will dominate. But I think that, and the data doesn't lie here. I think it was a super win and probably the best of the locals, and then did it the hard way again. Like it's hard. I don't know. It's hindsight's a wonderful thing, but you go back and have a look at the horses that it beat there, and have a look at the horses it's beat there on Saturday again, and it has continued to beat them, and still winning. He's still winning, so it should be hard to beat up regardless of how much he gets.
She just keeps getting better. Like if you notice, like from a yard watcher, Peter, when we backed her to win the Oaks, still can't get over that. But she had like she had 2 strappers and she had a lot of problems and she was light and real towy. On Saturday, she was just walking around like much more of a mature mare with 1 strapper. So it goes a long way to helping these stayers like find a good position in run, settle enough to be able to finish off races. It's all that she's sort of evolved into is making her elite. She definitely didn't settle though. She was still pulling in the run, which is like classic her. And but that could have just been a function of the slow pace. But it's funny. She was definitely not settled in the run, I thought.
All right, quick question just for Dicko, Josh, Anthony Van Dyke going to a Melbourne Cup, for or against? What are you thinking?
Oh, I got no idea. You can't knock it. Like it's run probably 2,500, maybe 2,600 meters here.
Yeah,
and almost won. Like, and it's gapped them. Like it couldn't have gone any better. Like if Very Elegant, who was entitled to stop as well, stops just a little bit, it wins. It's a freak effort what it did.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the weight over 3,200 is a different thing. It's obviously going to get the 3,200, but I'd be aiming for like a horse like Tiger Moth, who's I think only carrying 54, 53 and a half or something. Rises telling me different, but yeah, I think like just the international raiders are just another level, because I potted this big time with the draw, the weight, the jockey.
Well, you were right about the jockey.
Yeah, but I think, like you said, if it's gone forward, I reckon it probably just wins. But
if it sits like behind Finch or even toes Finching, I don't see how it stops off what it's done anyway. Like to sustain a long run around a bend at Caulfield is very, very hard to do. Not many horses do it.
Like the fact that like Master of Wine led shows it could have easily gone across and.
What do you do with that horse? Master of Wine, like they backed it heavily on Saturday. I think time's up for it.
I can't comment. Don't know. Just put it in the paddock now. Yep. I don't want to say it again. I don't want to back it again.
All right, let's head to the Caulfield Sprint, because that's where the biggest figures of the day all were. Graf first up for Danny O'Brien, just recording a monster figure, defeating Fabigino, who was really back to her best, and again probably not the ground she was looking for, but still was just enormous, just sitting there out a little bit deep. And Alpha Oro went under as the short fave. What are you making of the race in hindsight?
Just frustrated. Like Geordie Child's riding really well. I think he's got a lot of ability, but he fucked this up. Sat 3 wide on Fabigino, who's gone very slow for the class. Like, if he just rolls forward and is aggressive on this horse, I think it wins.
Has the favourite gone too slow to the 600?
100%, way too slow.
Yeah.
They both Fabigino and Alpha Oro's edge over these horses
is
that they can sustain a long sustained effort of speed.
Alpha Oro is like a Pippi type, I feel.
Yeah, Graf and Garner and your Shiminos and your Vein Streams have a really nice turn of foot. So if they're close to you at the 600, they're going to be very competitive. But if they're off a bit because you've broken their hearts, it would have just been a who's going to last longer, sort of like the ranting, Hanseatic, other Anders race. But Danny O'Brien's a freak. Damon Oliver's a freak.
What's changed here with Fabigino? What's changed here with Fabigino, Pete? Do you reckon?
The track.
And it jumped with him.
Yeah, it jumped.
Yeah, she missed it, didn't she?
The track profile was different as well. A wet Mooney Valley is different to a wet Caulfield, and not that it was raining during the day at Caulfield as well. It would have been a drying track, so I think that's a completely different setup for the horse. And I mean, she never looked comfortable at any stage at Mooney Valley, but she's obviously got the ability. Like the figures that she's posted previously don't lie. She can't lose that magically. So it's just a completely different setup, and it probably helped having Geordie Childs on, who knew those or was more comfortable and more familiar with those tracks. But yeah, at the same time, they've only gone slow here, and really if she rolls forward and puts a little bit more pressure on early, because that's what it looked like. She basically looked like she was blowing up Alpha Oro in the straight, but still had more to give really. Yeah.
She's probably going to race in it. She's got a race in her down the straight, isn't she?
I think so.
She could be a complete moral, whatever race that is.
But like the horses can't go much quicker than these horses went in the last 600 metres of a race.
Yeah.
Like it's unbelievable.
Unreal.
Yeah. Let's have a look at some of the other races on the card. The
Caulfield.
Caulfield.
I would just say, Peter, just like it's been fascinating on Saturday, the SP profile stuff. Like Favagino was a bet because of its SP. Like, its SP almost favourite in the Group 1.
Well, it was
And you
favourite,
almost-
yeah.
And you almost got paid here. And then you get to the last race, and
Madame Rouge.
mare, Madame Rouge is SP like equal to, I reckon, about the same as Perfect Jewel. Good SP over Pretty Brazen last start at Flemington, but it had the PR. And then it started for $14. If you just looked at the SPs and bet here on Saturday, you'd be going pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think we need to spend too much time on race 10 because it was just completely and utterly awful. 22.6 lengths slow to the 600 over a 1,400 metre trip.
Fascinating, eh?
Yeah, just it looked like a walk-in run, and it's come back absolutely.
I watched the replay this morning. Matty Hill called it.
Yeah.
He those Craig Williams, as good as we've got, he's gone. I think this happens a bit. Like when the jockey's fearful of a horse getting that trip. So this is backing up again, going from 1,200 to 1,400 metres. But whilst he's protecting his pony getting that trip, he's also taking away its greatest asset, which is the sustained speed, which has won it the last couple of times or made it very competitive the last few times.
Exactly. It's another one of those horses with tactical speed. I don't think it's a 1,400 metre horse.
But we don't know, do we?
We don't know, but I think it's a 1,200 metre blow you away early sections horse, and that's definitely not how it's actually never been ridden how it should be. The best it's gone to the 600 on the all benchmark figure was negative 7.5 on a heavy track at Caulfield, which is it's probably failed on, and then it finished second at Moonee Valley going negative 6.1, but 17.2 to the 600 is just a far you can't win basically off that.
It's a barrow trial though, worth $300,000. This is.
Yeah.
Good luck figuring it out going forward.
It was the complete inverse of the Blue Sapphire. You know, people were concerned about a 3-horse race presenting with an actual race. Well, this was an absolute disgrace, that race on the weekend. And again, was there anything in the stewards report? Do I dare ask about, potentially slowing the tempo?
No, they've put a little. They painted Zara's very elegant silks out the front of Caulfield.
Yeah.
And a little statue, a smaller one of Willow.
Yeah.
Slowest tempo set in Caulfield Cup Day, Craig Williams, 2020.
He
signed it.
Valium to Mazepam for all. Okay, race 8 was the Moonga Stakes over 1,400. Wild Planet Sydney form too easy. Word on 50 Stars, word on Windstorm, anything else out of the race?
Pike back to doing Pike things. They've gone very, very slow for the class here. 50 Stars is flying, follow it. Windstorm's flying, follow it. Wild Planet, blessed. Either Morrissey, blessed in run. If Morrissey's running second in a good race like this, they've gone slow. And then the data comes through, they have gone slow. Very disappointing race. I backed Windstorm. I think I might have backed 50 Stars, and I might have backed Best of Days. Best of Days was disappointing, as was the inevitable. Packardali and Be Good to Streets of Avalon and Be Good to Your Mother. Holy shit! What has happened to them? They're gone. Particularly Streets of Avalon. Like Streets of Avalon, it might have did it run in the All-Star Mile? Did it knock off Super Seth once in a group run? Is that the same horse I'm talking about? I think it was.
Yeah, beat it in the Futurity Stakes over 1,400 at Caulfield. So in terms of the difference here, it was 5 lengths difference between what it produced to beat Super Seth and what it produced there on the weekend.
If you own Super Seth, you would have lost millions when it got knocked off in that Group 1 as its stud value. You'd just be throwing up every time Streets of Avalon runs around now. You're throwing up.
Josh, anything for you out of the Moonga?
Just probably praising Morvada. What an honest horse it is. It's finished 4th in a Group 3, 3rd in a listed, 2nd in a listed back at Morphettville, last preferable Super. It's just it's one of those horses that you just love to own, sort of a thing. Just an honest horse. I know it probably deserved to do better, but these horses are probably better than it. Morrissey, 50 Stars, probably a lot of weight. Probably going to enjoy further. Not sure what they're targeting it for, but last year it ran in the McKinnon. So I don't know if they're going to give it a go at the Cantala again. It's taking a bit of a different path this year.
I think it's going to the Cantala.
So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they can get that. I thought it was an interesting horse, ex-Weir horse. Not really one of my faves. But yeah, it ran all right.
Okay.
Horse that went out extra time. I think it was Josh's first ever deep dive. We both stamped extra time as a good horse to follow out of the Caulfield meeting. I reckon it was.
And I reckon we
And then
thought it was a
we
good.
stamped it again after the next run. It snuck off the Wolverville on Saturday punters. None of us saw it. It won at $12.
And it ran at Mooney Valley on. I think it ran at Mooney Valley on Moya night, and it just completely blew up or something. And then yeah, we've looked up at the screen. Brett Davis calls it over the line. Extra time, bolts in. Totes show up, $12.
So one by a nostril.
It was obviously a harder race.
Okay, let's finish off with the 3-year-olds at Caulfield. The Caulfield
Which race
Classic.
number was that?
Caulfield Classic Race 4 for the Colts and Geldings. Alvarado defeated Let's Crack a Deal, hit the shot. Looking at these horses going towards the Derby, slow race, poor figure overall. You following any of these going forward?
No.
Good.
I don't know.
I
think the winner's gone super.
Pending, like let's just have a bit of clarity. Like we need to tell the truth here. I now have, and thanks to, I don't know if you covered it in depth on the Sydney show with Sheen, Roden, and Scurry Peter, but it's me winning with a torn ligament. You champion, you fucking champion. I'm going to get a frame picture of that horse in my office. I love it. But it winning that race has now set me up with Old Kirk winning the Guineas to have Young Werther going for a severe amount of money in the Derby, so it's going to get a lot of my attention. I'll likely be on a bunch of these horses or laying heavily. Pray for a zero commission day, Derby day. I bet there that would be ideal. I think Hit the Shot is okay here. Like it was probably the one to follow versus the price you'll likely get next start, but we are very much team Young Werther for the Derby.
Okay, good. Race 5 for the fillies. The Ethereal Stakes over 2,000. Chica Fuerte defeated Salto Angel. Star of Eden.
Me.
Going
we had half a unit at Salto Angel at $30.
Yep.
$30. 15 units, guys. 15 fucking units.
That's not my question. The Oaks, any of these contending?
Starrell, just another barrier trial.
Yeah, and a good one. Starrell's flying. I thought even Cafe Rizzu and Starrell, two of the better runs in the race.
Yeah.
I thought Ciurleo to succeed indeed, a little bit plain. Like they were entitled to go a little bit better. Salto Angel, progressive, nice. But the winner sort of stamped herself as a horse with a bit of tactical speed. And should we get to the Oaks there on the Thursday at Flemington and we're half a chance of getting on course, we have to
millions.
Especially if we're in the Derby, I'm going to buy like a share in a couple of horses that are running on Caulfield Cup Day, on Melbourne Cup Day, Oaks Day, and then something on the Saturday so I can get in. But because they will just ignore the regular on-course punter because we're irrelevant. But if it is on pace there on Oaks Day, this horse has got skill set that a lot of these won't. They can settle on speed and keep running. The winner, Chica Fuerte.
Okay. That's the Caulfield big day. Lots going on. Let's head up to Queensland. Curls, which track are we focusing on? You've bet at like 400 joints in the last 7 days.
And do you know who Chris Roots is?
He lost fucking all of the joints too.
All right, run us through.
We'll start at Rocky. Let's just go through. Do you want to just let me use 5 minutes for therapy?
Yep.
Seem to be good at that.
Take as long as you need, mate.
We took even money about the tax accountant in race 2 at Rockhampton. I can't remember what led the race. It was the stablemate led, and Brolga, the race caller up at Rocky there, he said, this thing's in front. I'm going to bring it up, actually, because I need to know.
Flying Crackerjack.
Taking even money, the tax accountant, just after 9 a.m. It's SP $1.55, $1.60. Flying Crackerjack in front, but not for long. Here's the tax accountant. And then Flying Crackerjack's kicked on the line and beaten us. Apologies to the plastic garbage bin in the betting ring at Clifford Park as I kicked the fuck out of it on the way back to my seat. So that was just not a great start at Rocky. Go to Doomben. That was the beginning and the end of Rocky. Go to Doomben. This is how bad I'm going, right? This is, when you're
I have to mute myself.
When things are going bad, you seem to find mistake after mistake. Now, on Thursday night on the show, I said Sugar Booms are moral, and this is going to be the start of a wonderful wagering relationship with Georgina Cartwright in Queensland. Now, it hovered around that odds-on quote, and so I didn't really want to pull the trigger on it for the service. And then right at the death, and I'm talking like right at the death, from 10 minutes past 12 until 12 minutes past 12, $1.95 to 2.20.
The sickest thing, Kels, is he didn't have to go and find a picture of just for this segment. He already had a bunch of them.
Yeah, just have it. Yeah, sometimes I just. All right, where's your bird?
And that type of behaviour is why you didn't get the family trifecta in the Caulfield Cup, mate. Anyway, so Sugar Boom gets out to 2.20, which should have triggered a bet. It was really late, and I just wasn't there. Last 30 seconds, and then it leads and pisses in. As we thought. Also on the show Thursday night, I said the best value bet is a lay race 5, number 4, 05 Glory. So I back the great Boombino and Molly's Rocking. 05 Glory, well backed. The horse that I wanted to be on, Molly's Rocking, was a late scratching. The eventual winner of the race was the horse that got the run that Molly's Rocking was getting. I'm adamant fucking Molly's Rocking would have won this. Anyway, 05 Glory's gone over. Ended up SPing 260 because of scratching, but anyway, didn't get enough out of it. And then, the day just got worse. Just trying to get the maps right in Queensland. It's just been difficult the last couple of weeks, particularly. I think we backed in race 6. I backed Top Me Up Again and Trusty Lad, and Top Me Up Again sort of railed through from the 600. It was $14, and it looked the winner on the corner. It really didn't sustain that run. And the horse that I was on last start for a good size bet, seeing is believing. Georgina Cartwright pulls out a great steer and wins at $6.50 to beat me. Everywhere you look, there was just one fucking debacle after the next. Couple of winners. I think we backed a winner at Toowoomba. I was completely fetal at this stage, and this is the best thing I've done all day. This is the best story I have. Is that in the betting ring prior to race 2? So I sent the early plays for Toowoomba. I was happy with the horses that we backed. And there was a horse called Avawar, which was $1.25. Now, I was on the phone.
Rock and Ronnie.
I was on the phone to a mate, and I was in the betting ring pre-race. And I said, I can't believe I've done this, but I've taken this thing at $1.25 and I've taken it into the multis, because I said, the only that this gets beat is if the jockey jumps off at the start or something and he's too old and he's just not going to be doing that sort of shit. But if you give him $5, if you paid someone to do it, you could lay this for a mozza. It's $1.30 on the fair, mucking around. Anyway, got to go. They're about to jump. And everyone in the betting ring sort of laughing. It's the same crew there every Saturday. And then the horse, reared, and he nearly fell off at the start and missed the start by 50. The whole betting ring just went silent, and everyone just looked at me. I was like, oh, F me, honestly. Well, I thought it was $1.10 chance, so I thought, $1.25, couple of sneaky little all-ups in the Wild Moon. Take the couple of hatch runners. We backed Wild Moon at 360, and it's SP'd or 350. I think we backed it at. It's SP'd at 250 and pissed in. And And here I am just like sucking my thumb, crying because I've taken a fucking $1.25 pop into it, like a complete fucking idiot that I am. That's my day. From a wagering perspective. From a racing perspective in Queensland, like I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks, like they're just horses and they're just taking it in turns, and it's just like shit. Hopefully as we get closer to the summer carnival, sort of leading into the Magic Millions, we might, see a bit better quality horse and jockey maybe. But
hopefully they let me up there. I'm going to come and hang out with you.
Oh, that'd be great.
Did the zero commission cause you to wager any more or any less?
Like I paid fucking zero commission on every track Saturday. What did I do there? I just backed your stuff. What was the name of that Salto horse? I backed it.
Oh,
California Salto.
Yeah.
No, the thing that ran second at like 30.
Salto Angel.
Salto.
That thing, Salto Angel. Yeah, that's no. I bet every race. I basically bet in every race at Caulfield that you were.
I thought we were going to get there like halfway down the straight because the leader it'd work pretty hard.
Yeah. Anyway. That was probably me, Pistol. I don't really. I sort of give up on the Gold Coast. I thought Travis Wolfgram had a few good books, and he had one for Les Kelly that was heavily backed in race 3, and we were on, and it got beat, so I cracked the shits there as well. Just when it rains, it pours, or whatever the saying is.
Yeah, there's always another race though, so there's no need to sort of force it when it's not. Yeah. When it's not sort of settling out as you anticipated, there's no need to just keep punching. You just wait and reassess it.
I think that's the important part. Yeah, for sure. But not a lot to report out of the meeting on Saturday. And I didn't do a lot of work yesterday, to be honest. Just breathe through the data this morning for Brisbane and take a little bit more detail. But it's a very even bunch of horses at the moment with a few chances in every race. I thought over the weekend, so we'll just do the replays and move on.
Yep, that's fair. All right, we'll quickly head west. Awful day for me betting wise, but it was mostly because I backed the wrong horses the wrong horses that I also found, if that makes sense.
Let's give you a bit of a supportive wrap at the start. Like, I didn't watch any of them. I listened to a bunch of them. But every time that you sent something through, and as I tend to do, sort of raged at them a little bit, sort of doubled the units. But every time I had it on the new Betfair app, which is, I think that new Betfair app's a really big improvement on the previous app. It's a great app. Every single race, I had quite a sizable profit if I wanted to trade it out. But I don't know how you beat SP consistently within 3 minutes on Saturday and still didn't land a blow. Like if Curly and I think we've got some problems mentally, fucking hell. That's been 3 minutes every time.
Yeah.
How do you handle that in your head?
Fine. No issue at all. I know I'm just going to keep punching them and it'll land. Never-ending race day, all that sort of shit. But no, I'm just a psychopath, so what does it matter?
True. He's not lying.
I have zero when it comes to betting. It's outstanding. It's occasionally I'll crack the shits, but it's usually something really, really strange that doesn't demand anything. Like I don't even know. I can't remember the last time I lost it. Race 6 on the card over 1,000. Outstanding little barrier trial for Battlestorm going forward to the Winterbottom. I sort of had an epiphany with dates as we're recording the podcast on Friday, the long-running WA preview pod. And I was like, dates, why is Battlestorm turning back up in WA? Why is it not still in Melbourne? It had one start at Caulfield. There was like a bit of boom about it. Ran sort of midfield. Bit of a disappointment. And then here it is back at Ascot. where's the rest of the tribe? Like, why not keep it here in Melbourne? It likes soft tracks. First start at Ascot, and the only thing I could think of is Bob's taking one back to try and win the Winterbottom because all his good ones are here and potentially they won't be able to get home. So Battlestorm, no cash for it. It's flopped out last. It's run a big figure. Lovely splits on the way home. It's proven itself it can handle Ascot as long as it stays together. It's, arguably going to be in the top 3 or 4 horses going towards the Winterbottom. And especially if Clairvoyance doesn't go there, it's just a cracking futures bet. Elite Street's produced a monster performance. A big peak first up. We've spoken about this on the Sydney show with Mark Roden a few times. That's probably going to be a small knock on the horse going forward. Those big peaks first up can often just prove elusive for the horse for the rest of that prep. We backed Boomtastic and Battlestorm in the race. The favourite Condor Heroes missed a kick and was scrubbed up, set a good tempo and then folded in the straight. So we're pretty happy with the play there, 2nd and 4th. But Nicovi's on track for next start, one of the horses that Dates has a share in. Then in race 7, the Crawford, we backed Valor Road early at 480. It's jumped. Let me get this right. It's jumped 380. It did hit 310 at one point and it's done absolutely fucking nothing. So it just lodged in a reasonable enough spot on the day. I wanted to try and chop Indian Pacific. And as I was sending a message out, it's still like 260. I've got it rated 290. Got out to 310. I looked at it and I thought, it's all right. And anyway, Indian Pacific won. Mervyn was great. Stageman, another good barrier trial for the Winterbottom. All those horses are going as well as they humanly can. But the feature on the card, the Northerly Stakes, we're talking about on the preview show, the chances of Platoon at $26. As the day unfolded, it's just, you couldn't win rails and run. Nothing sat rails and run and won. So Platoon, I had a small little early sniff at on the live show because I thought I can't throw it out and let it win. $26. Barrier 1. So I couldn't send it out on the day. It's jumped $31 and lost by 0.3 of a length, getting knocked off by Taxigano at $81, which is lobbed from gate 3 on the outside of it midfield. They've got a really fast tempo, and this thing in yellows has flashed late, and I thought it was just Massimo going for it. No, it's Platoon. 0.3 at $31. Just outstanding. We backed Vital Silver and Free Trade on the day because they looked to lob in the perfect spot, and they did.
What
They
happened to
both
Vital
had
Silver?
chances.
I was listening to it. He's a great caller. Probably as good as they get.
Jeremy Johnson.
Definitely presented, didn't it?
Oh, he called it like, I thought we're on here. Because I was on the couch with my kid.
So did Free Trade.
I was watching the fucking Wiggles or something,
Yeah. They both loomed into it. They went 7.5 lengths faster to class here. They just kept hammering up front. It was a cracking race. It will be a great conditioning race for some of those horses going forward towards the railway. But yeah, it was a bit sick actually because Free Trade loomed at about, back to 26 plus. Vital Silver was drifting out to 17, 18. They both loomed at one stage or another in the straight. Cup Night half loomed out wide and then peaked. Massimo's got off the fence. It was an outstanding ride from Johnston Porter. At about 1,800, he's come off the fence, moved into the running line, sliced through and unlucky not to get the win. But no, Taxigano just too strong for Fred Kersley. Just Mitchie on board, outstanding work. But if I'm getting knocked off, I'm happy it's Fred and not anyone else.
One out wide for you guys. Did anyone watch Bathurst yesterday?
Tuned in for the start and tuned out, but heard it was a momentous occasion for the Holden punters.
I don't know who won actually. Dan Gisbergen won. I don't know what car he's driving, what brand, but
Holden and their Holdens are out, so it was a big thing.
Oh, a little rev head amongst us.
Yeah, Holdens are like what's an old stallion that's just not producing anymore?
Reduced.
Kevin Tari. No.
If it blows smoke, I'm not interested at all.
I just thought that
Dicko blows smoke.
Yeah, no, I don't actually. I'm off them. I thought the way that they produce that content, that sport content, is my favourite to watch. The angles and the insights and the vision from the car, the vision from the chopper. Yeah. I reckon racing could learn a lot from the V8s. which seems odd. I watch Bathurst every year, sort of like on a Sunday. Normally hungover. Now it's just like, with a coffee and feeding him a smoothie. But
Racing's got jockey cam. Oh, fantastic vision of the. Oh, fuck the jockey cam. It's the biggest heap of shit vision in the history of vision. On Twitter, there's like that much circle jerking going on about superb vision of Tommy Berry punching one through the middle of the pack. Like, piss off.
Channel 7 needs to can that. On a Saturday, there is nothing more than I hate than when you try and find your horse, but it's covered up by jockey cam. Like, quit that. Just stop showing it. Show it, like, make it a separate channel. Make it a separate channel that you click onto, and you can see all the jockey cams, like Jockey Wall or something.
Press red for jockey cam.
Yeah, I don't really care about the jockey cam because I can't see my flea bag that's settled 99 lengths last, like it does every time, and it's going to swoop home.
Might said, have you, Josh?
Yeah, mate. Just flashing light runs, mate.
But there should be like so much more of that sort of stuff. Like, I don't even like cars. I don't even know. I have to triple check every time I got a car that needs 95 and a car that needs 90, and I find that hard to do. But I enjoy watching Bathurst.
Both. I don't even watch
Channel 7's racing.
All motorsport has got like great even Formula One now with its new takeover by the Yanks. It's got some really good content there. And racing should have that? Racing should. Well, I was going to say it's not a multi-million-dollar sport, but
it is.
It is. Yeah. I don't know, but like I said, why isn't there a provider that says when the barriers open, like some electronic thing that goes through to all the providers? Hey, the gates have pinged at Flemington. Like, astonishing.
I know, I'm watching the V8s and I can tell, like, literally how much fuel this car's got left that I don't even know who the driver is. I can see it, like the line, and they're saying, if it gets off this line, it's going to lose grip and he's going to have to make a move here and a safety car might come. I can't even see a fucking horse 17 parade on TV in racing. Like, it's just, let alone, like, the parade should just be the fundamental of the sport. I think there should be the jockey cam. There should be drone cam. There should be barrier cam. There should be, like, options. I want to see how they're settling in the barriers. I want a camera shot just of the barriers because I want to watch each horse walk into the barriers. I don't want to cross the fucking the latest market mover, which isn't even a market. Like, half the market movers on Saturday, it's like, mate, it's not moving. It's going out on the fair, buddy. This thing's crunching.
I suppose the counter argument is that you don't get any vision if they don't cross for the Bet365 market update.
Can I just roll it across the bottom of the screen though? Like,
can I also just point out that it's complete tautology if you say the market money mover? That is horrendous fucking grammar. Liftyourgame.com. You're on bloody a professional broadcast network.
And to Pete, which Pete will agree with this, I'm sure. I watched a bit of Hong Kong on racing.com. It's elite.
Just for those at home.
They just show the mounting yard relentlessly. And as soon as they cross the finish line, they just show the replay of it.
Just for those at home, the meaning of tautology is saying of the same thing twice over in different words.
It's like, what, is there a different market that's moved by something that's not money? Say market mover. Stop trying to just confuse people with alliteration. It's bullshit. What, is that like how intelligent racing people are? It's got used the letter M 3 times in a row.
Curly, we got him.
People do fall for alliteration. I'm trying to think of a horse that has alliteration, but I can't.
Look, bottom of the line, everyone in racing is trying to do their best. Not bagging any individual. I just think that you could learn a lot from the V8. I couldn't get over how good it was yesterday. That was my point.
Speaking of other sports that are going outstanding, NFL.
God bless it. We finally made like big money whilst sleeping. That's a fucking box tick for my life. Serious? It was grouse, was it?
Yeah.
I woke up to just a flood of shit on my phone, which isn't always good. And there it was. NFL wide receiver. She's hot too. And she's done it. She's found us one out wide. A big same game multi. What a woman.
She is.
Get on board. So hot.
All right. For the rest of us, We've now got a calendar on the website, which I'm updating. So it can basically, people always ask me, it's like, where's Dicko betting? It's like, well, I don't know, wherever he wants to bet. But now you can actually go to the website. There's a calendar tab. You can have a look.
Well, let me tell you where I'll be betting this week. You'll get late Mounting Yard mail-ish stuff on Wednesday from Geelong. You'll get something from the Valley on Friday night. Not as detailed, probably, because it just gets a bit hectic there. And I might be doing something with the G Hall man.
Nope.
And you'll get every race from the Cox Plate live updates before they jump. You'll be getting mover bets. Probably not tomorrow. I've let Mornington go because it's drizzling here today. I hate that. But we'll be betting at Geelong. We might knock off a maiden at Ballarat. We'll bet Friday night. We'll bet Saturday. And we will definitely bet on Sunday at Sale because I love that joint and it's very profitable for us.
Oh, very good. There is a special. If you want to get double parked this week, you can get everything from New South Wales, Mounting Yard wise. So that's Robert Kenzo on Wednesday and then Randwick on Saturday. And also anything that you send out at Geelong and then the Valley. It's Cox Plate and Manikato. It's just enormous.
Have we got Josh's out wide essay Black Book as we forgot about product going yet? Or is that we're still working on that one?
I'm still working on that one because it would require one of the 3 or 4 or 5 of us, however many we've got going at once, to actually remember the fact that we throw stuff out in previous episodes. So if you've got a really good memory and you're actually listening to whatever we're throwing out every week and you're writing it down and you're black booking it, please get in touch. You can have your own product. Guys, good chat.
There actually is a product in that. Curls, what do you got on this week?
Well, I'm going to bet the Sunny Coast on Friday night just because it coincides with Manikato and there should be eyes on racing screens, so we may as well bet. Then we've got the usual Saturday. This Saturday just gone. I've tweaked it a little bit because it's like covering so many meetings. It's absolutely impossible to do every race, race by race. So even though that the results didn't really go like fall the way sort of hoping, I still didn't think they were it was bad betting. So I'll probably
it was great. It was great betting. You took $2 about a horse $1.60. That's elite.
It's graze up. So we'll definitely bet race by race Friday night. Like I say, it's a good night's racing in Melbourne, so we'll tag along with the Sunny Coast. And then, the usual punting palooza on a Saturday, 3 meetings across southeast Queensland. And that's it for me for them. There's nothing during the week.
All right. Bloody good. Outstanding. It's a massive week ahead. Head to the
NFL
website.
wide receiver flying. Get on board. It's cheap as chips. Cam Dean will find your winners. The winner of the grand final, the Norm Smith medalist, and a bunch of sick little player props.
Tiggs have already won. Just
always code them. Record that. We are recording it.
I'll take it.
Beautiful. Righto. That's good.
Ciao for now.
Cheering the Cats.